So hi and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison of snow foam guns / cannons. So we've got these two here. So this is the Karcher Foam Spray Nozzle. That's what it's officially called. It's effectively the one that you can pick up for £15 off Halfords. And then you've got this one here, which is like an aftermarket one. There's so many of these around and there are varying degrees of price and specification, but generally ones that look like this versus your cheap Karcher ones that you can just pick up either with your device or from Halfords for pretty cheap. But basically what I'm going to be discussing in this video is things like the price, the foam thickness, the different kind of adjustability of them, and then my kind of overall recommendation as to which you should get if you're looking for a new foam cannon and you're not sure which to get out of these two. So starting off with the one that everyone wants to know, and that is how thick the foam is. So I'm just going to cut to the clips, you'll see them, but basically the foam with the Karcher spray nozzle versus the aftermarket one is just completely different. It's a lot thinner with the Karcher and a lot thicker compared with the aftermarket one. So if you are primarily interested in the thickness of the foam, then go for the aftermarket one. You're probably going to be disappointed with just the foam gun. It doesn't sort of market itself as a foam cannon, so you obviously tend to see that guns versus cannons, the cannons are going to produce that thicker foam, whereas the foam guns are not going to be quite as thick, going to be a little bit more watery. So that's just something to consider. If you're interested in foam, you can probably the foam thickness, and you can probably stop the video here and just go ahead and purchase the other one. You're probably going to be more interested in that. So also what I wanted to talk about was these specific cannons that I've got in terms of the adjustability, the price, and also things like durability and stuff like that. So starting off with the Karcher one, so I picked this up probably around 3 years ago now, and it was £15 from Halfords, as I said. It's reasonably cheap, made of plastic. It's very standard, there's not much in terms of adjustability. And then this one here I picked up from, it's either Easy or EZ Car Care, whichever you prefer to say. I don't know which it is, to be honest. I picked it up from there. The retail price of that was £25.99. However, if you've been on the website, they have deals all the time. So I actually picked this up when it was 50% off. So I got that for £12.50, which is actually cheaper than the standard Karcher one that you can just get from Halfords. So shop around for deals. You can probably find these anywhere from sort of around £20 to £35 is where I've seen them. Of course, the ones that are £35, they are different. This isn't the best foam cannon you can get. There's not loads going on with it. It's not the thickest foam you can get from it and things like that, but it's sort of an upgrade from the Karcher one. So in terms of the actual adjustability, you're going to get a lot more if you go ahead and purchase the aftermarket one. So I'll just grab it here. Basically, there's two controls on this. So there's this here, which is going to adjust how thick the foam is. So there's like a plus and a minus, and you can adjust that. You're probably going to want it on the plus, but some people might prefer it a little bit less foamy. It's completely up to you. And then also the thing that's different is that basically you've got this here, which twists, and you can't really see it, it's a bit small, but it basically adjusts the kind of spray pattern. So you can have it quite narrow, so here's quite narrow, and then you can get it thicker like that. So it's just going to adjust how large the fan is. So if you're trying to get into sort of tight areas like the wheel arches, you might want it a bit thinner. If you're trying to cover the whole roof or maybe a side panel, then you're going to want it probably on the thickest setting. So there are, as I said, other foam cannons like that that tend to have another adjustment that you can do to them, which is going to adjust whether you want a vertical or a horizontal spray pattern. That one doesn't have that. It's up to you. If you purchase one that's more expensive, then it'll probably have that feature, but it's something to look out for. In terms of the Karcher one, this one only has one control, so it has this one here. So you basically just turn that and the arrow points to it. So if it's at the kind of thin end, then that's basically going to be mostly water, and then you can twist it to here and it's going to be mostly foam. So one thing to note is that the adjustability with that, it is more kind of refined. You can adjust the amount of foam and get it thicker or a bit thinner if you prefer. With this, if you want any kind of decent foam, you're going to have to have it on that max setting. Anything less than that, and the foam's just effectively water. So it's just something to keep in mind. You're not really getting the adjustability with this compared to that. So something else to kind of note is the actual design of them. So of course you can kind of see it here. The aftermarket ones have a lot of brass fittings, whereas the Karcher one is just all plastic. So in terms of durability, you're probably going to get a little bit better out of the ones with brass fittings and more chemically resistant. particularly if you're using things like traffic foams and stuff like that, it might be more of a consideration. However, as I've said, I've had that Karcher one for now nearly 3 years, and it's probably gone through maybe 150 cars worth of washes, and it's not let me down yet. It doesn't show any signs of degrading, and I've not looked after it that well. You are supposed to rinse them through after with water. I haven't done that much, if I'm totally honest, and it doesn't show any signs of degrading. I don't use a pH neutral snow foam. I do use one that's slightly alkaline, but it's nothing that's going to batter it. But in terms of durability, I won't worry too much about the Karcher one. It's not poorly built. It is actually quite decent. So you're not going to maybe get a year out of this before it fails. For me personally, I've been using it every week and it's lasted me 3 years and it's not shown any signs of wearing down yet. Something else to consider as well is the capacity. So with the larger one, basically what's good about these type is that you can take this off and you've got, basically you can replace this with anything you want. So there's different bottle types. There's ones that have like a more triangular shape, ones that are like more round at the bottom to stop them kind of knocking over. So it's up to you kind of what design bottle you get. Probably just wrecking the microphone there. Put that back. Whereas with the Karcher one, you sort of got this one, but one of the good things is actually this is reasonably wide. This is slightly thinner. The actual nozzle, so in terms of pouring things in, this isn't that bad. And in terms of knocking it over, it's not that bad either, as it is quite sort of short. You're not really going to have that issue. But one thing to kind of note is the actual capacity of them. So mostly you'll get a 1 litre cannon with that, whereas with the Karcher it's 600ml. 600ml typically will be fine for most cars. You're probably not going to have to stop halfway through and refill it. But it's something to consider if you are foaming multiple cars, maybe on one day, and you don't want to have to keep refilling it, then maybe you'll prefer the 1 litre one. As I said, I'm just doing this on my own car, so it's not too much of an issue, but it's something to consider potentially if you're cleaning multiple cars. But if you are cleaning multiple cars, you're probably going to go with that one anyway. Something else to kind of talk about as well is kind of the customisation with them. So with the Karcher one, you're effectively stuck with it. It's only going to suit your Karcher. Potentially there's going to be adaptations out there, adapters and things like that you can put on, but really it's for your Karcher, and you're not going to be able to adjust too much. Whereas with that one there, you can actually kind of take it apart and you can change things like the orifice, which you can get thicker or thinner foam based on that. You can actually upgrade that. You can also change this fitting here. This will just, oops, nearly knocked it over. But this will just unscrew. So that's to fit the Karcher K series, but you can unscrew them and get a different one. So if you get a new pressure washer, then you can just recycle that. But with that, you're kind of stuck. So it's just something to consider. You can kind of upgrade those ones, whereas with Karcher, you're stuck with what you actually get. So in terms of my overall recommendation, which I think you should get if you're just starting out, it's hard to say. It depends really on your budget. If you're happy to spend the extra £10, I would go with that one. There's more you can do with it. You can change. Obviously, you can adapt it slightly to get thicker foam. You're going to get thicker foam to start with, and you've got that kind of adjustability. And the brass fittings are a little bit better. You can change the bottle shape and stuff like that. So that is the better foam cannon. As I've said, I actually picked this up for cheaper because I got it on sale. If you want to do the same, then that's probably something you could do. But that is the better foam cannon. If I went back to the start and just purchased one, I'd probably go with that. But if you are first getting into detailing, this isn't bad. I know it gets a bit of stick, and I've had a lot of my comments on my videos saying get a real foam cannon and stuff like that, and I do agree. I'm glad I upgraded. However, if you are just a weekend warrior and you just want a foam cannon and you don't want to spend £30-35 on something to get slightly thicker foam, you're not going to struggle with that. As long as you've got a decent snow foam in your lance or in your foam gun or whatever, you're going to get decent results. The foam thickness isn't the be all and end all. It's more kind of the cleaning power of the actual foam that's really going to help you. So you might have to use slightly more concentrated foam with the Karcher, which could even work out more expensive. It depends on how kind of much you look into it. So really, I reckon you should get that one. But if you are on a tight budget and you'd rather spend the extra tenner on a better car shampoo or a better car wax, you're just getting into it, which is what I did. I saw the other ones out there and I thought, do you know what, I'd rather spend £10 on something else car related, and that's what I did, and then upgraded to this one later. Again, it lasted me around 3 years and I think it's pretty decent for the price. So it's completely up to you. That one behind me is better, but this isn't bad by any means if you are just first getting into detailing. So I hope you have found this video helpful. If you're looking for a snow foam recommendation, I'll leave a link in the description to Built Hamber Auto Foam review, and that is by far the best snow foam I've tried so far. It's really, really good in terms of cleaning power. It's not the thickest foam in the world, but it just cleans the car so well and just makes the next part of the contact wash just so much safer and less likely to cause scratches. But hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then it'd be great if you could give it a like. Comment down below if you've got any questions about either of these two or any recommendations when I eventually probably upgrade again. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.